Minnesota fraud, Somali networks, and DFL oversight failures. Somali fraud in Minnesota. Left-wing corruption. At Dominion Risk, we strip this story down to indictments, oversight failures, and control gaps. Nothing else. This brief is about data, not slogans. Public records show large fraud rings exploiting Minnesota's welfare and COVID relief programs. Many indicted actors come from Somali-American business networks. Oversight failed under a dominant Democratic farmer-Labor government. National figures now use these cases to argue for broad action against Somali communities. Our job is simple. Map the fraud vectors. Define the governance failures. Separate criminal networks from an entire community and from broad ideology. Federal prosecutors charged 47 defendants in the Feeding Our Future case, alleging about $250 million stolen from child nutrition programs. Later trials convicted most defendants in one group tied to more than $40 million in fraud. By late 2025, at least 78 people had been charged across the broader scheme. Many are Somali-American owners of non-profits or meal sites who, according to indictments, fabricated meal counts and documents. One example is Abdirashid Bixi Dul, linked to 2 non-profit boards and charged with wire fraud and money laundering. Somali community leaders have also publicly condemned these crimes and warned about the damage to legitimate organisation. The pattern extends beyond one case. In a Medicaid housing support programme, 8 men, 6 of them Somali, were charged with wire fraud after costs spiked and the state shut the programme down. Another case involved around $14 million in false autism-service claims, including exaggerated diagnoses and kickbacks. A former federal corruption prosecutor describes these as organised fraud rings, exploiting weak controls and fast-expanding programs. These frauds ran under DFL-led state agencies. Oversight bodies were slow to act, and in many cases did nothing on red flags around meal claim surges and suspicious providers. The legislature later tightened some finance and election rules, showing reactive rather than proactive control. Inside the party, DFL conventions in Minneapolis drew criticism for disorder, quorum disputes, and broken procedures. One outcome was the revocation of a mayoral endorsement for Somali-American State Senator Omar Fateh, citing process failures rather than criminal acts. Nationally, Donald Trump has used these cases to argue for ending protected status for Somalis and to label Minnesota a hub of Somali-linked crime. State leaders, including Governor Tim Walz and Senator Amy Klobuchar, push back, noting that most Somali Minnesotans are law-abiding citizens and that broad blame is not supported by the data. The narrative says the story in Minnesota is not Somali corruption or left-wing collapse. However, that data currently disputes this. How much longer will large fraud rings exploiting weak controls inside a welfare ecosystem run by a dominant party continue? The damage is financial, political, and communal. If you want more intelligence-driven breakdowns like this, subscribe to Dominion Risk, share this brief, and keep your analysis anchored in evidence, not headlines.